Sometimes we got to take a little break from the movies.
But again,
go to the shows.
Another thing, I have no idea how
I feel about
except The Boys. I mean, that's that's a universal.
Yeah,
thing.
we know.
But anything else, I have no idea.
Well, then let's get to talking.
Let's
Ready?
Go.
Welcome back to another episode of Diego and Sam Know Nothing.
We don't always drink beer.
Yeah.
We're not always alcoholics. We have well, I don't know what's in your mug.
We have standards.
I don't know what's in your mug.
No one will ever know what is in my
mine's
mug.
regular coffee.
I can't. Yeah. Listen. Hey, man. I live a full life. I live life to the fullest.
Whatever's in your mug, but mine's
you can't
coffee.
speak to mine.
So it's
just
not
coffee,
it's
folks.
not always beer.
It's just coffee, folks. No, it's not always beer.
Which is okay because we got an early morning one.
Yeah.
Lot to cover.
Yeah. It's
a lot of good stuff though.
Busy, man. So much going on, which is great. I had a great week just watching everything, which was so nice because sometimes we have these lulls and there's no content. Man, there was content this week. Man, there was some good stuff.
And I watched everything last night. So
which is crazy.
Which
is so crazy. Yeah. So one thing that I wanted to kind of get out of the way because we're sort of late to the game on, but we talked about it last episode. It was such a bummer. You and I did not get to go to Top Gun like we were planning because we were sick. Mm-hmm. God, that was such a miserable time. But we got around to it. We saw it.
The movie's so talked about still, though.
I know, which
3
is
weeks
nuts.
later, everyone is still talking
which just tells you how good it was, right? So we don't have to say. The world knows. It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Fantastic movie.
Everything across the board.
My favorite movie of the year so far.
I mean,
I've seen 30 movies.
I don't blame you at all because
it just is. I saw it twice. It's the only movie of the year I've seen twice.
Dang. Okay.
Went back, paid for it twice.
Twice in theaters.
I had to.
I know it's so good.
It's so
good.
And someone's like, "Hey, did you see it? I haven't seen it yet. Would you want to go?" I'm like, "I've already seen it twice." They're like, "Oh, okay."
You're like, no,
I
would
didn't
go.
say I was gonna go.
Yeah.
I didn't say I didn't want to go. I just said I've seen it twice.
I would love to see it a third time.
Let's plan this Monday. Like, let's do this.
I wish I could go see it again, actually, because the theater that we went to wasn't the best. Wasn't the best quality theater, which is a bummer. The actual screen, like my seats were comfy, snacks are always good, but the actual screen wasn't good, and so that was a bummer.
Which you could sit on the hard ground as long as you have a good screen.
Absolutely,
you'll enjoy the movie.
Absolutely.
All the other stuff becomes irrelevant as long as you have a good screen.
Which is why I have a better time with my projector in my backyard, right? Like, and that's when it's like, oh, I mean, I shouldn't have a better time on my in the grass on the backyard. But, still we saw it. It was great. I think everything across the board. I don't know what you could really honestly complain about. This is like a movie that just hits it on all marks. You want to talk about, the acting. Listen, no one's winning Academy Awards. Everyone did their job, though.
Yes.
Everyone did exactly what they were supposed to, right? The direction, beautiful. Loved it. Loved every bit of it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The
soundtrack is phenomenal.
I love
we
the
expected.
Soundtrack.
And
I didn't know the soundtrack was going to be good.
I read this story. I don't know if it was how true it was, but that I think Arcade Fire was supposed to do the soundtrack or be a track on the soundtrack.
I feel like there was a lot of I read there was just a lot that was going to go on with it.
Yeah, but then Tom Cruise would go and clean house, and he'd be like, "Nope, this is not what I'm envisioning."
I guess he did that with everything in the movie,
which is crazy.
Which is fine.
Which is fine because it became what it is, right? Yeah. But that's clearly somebody who knew what they were looking for. They had a vision. They knew what they wanted to put on screen, and then things were happening, and they're like, "That's not it. That's not it. That's not it." And I got to tell you, I became a fan of Tom Cruise movies.
I think this was 2019.
Yeah,
2020 was supposed to come out.
Oh, it was supposed to release
2020.
I think 2020 because it was 3 years.
Yeah, because the first
from
trailer,
production,
and I guess it hasn't been touched since then. It's just been sitting there.
Oh, really? They weren't messing with it the whole time.
Yeah, they weren't
it wasn't 3 years of post.
They're like, no, it's there whenever we're ready for it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool. Still Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah, because they filmed it in 19, right?
In 2019.
I think that's what. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is nuts. Yeah, it's a 3-year-old.
So think they started going through the training and everything in 2018.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I mean, some of these guys are probably doing press for a movie they started. 4 years ago.
Exactly.
Which again is just awesome.
Great action.
Awesome story.
If you have any sort of love for aviation or just fast vehicles at all.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. That's like that. Yeah. It's like what I wish Fast and the Furious movies would be.
Yes.
Because it's obviously like a ridiculous thing, but it's people pushing themselves to the limit, which I think is so enticing. I mean, I'm just the whole time I'm glued to the screen.
I wanted to drive faster out of this movie about planes.
Right.
Than any movie that I've seen about cars.
Exactly.
Wanted to drive out of the theater.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm doing
like you wanted to push yourself to the limit.
100%.
Getting out of this movie.
And I felt so safe doing it. So I'm like, I'm going to drive like an idiot down my city.
Yeah.
But I'm like, after I get out of Fast and Furious, I was like, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to wreck my vehicle.
I'm not Tom Cruise.
Yeah. After this, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be like, it's totally fine. I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm safe.
I got this.
100%.
Yeah. Did it not pump you up,
It was
man?
so
it was
great.
Just so
it was
great.
so exciting. I loved all the characters. I loved everything about it.
Oh,
and it was just like I told you, that movie, like, I got out and I'm like, this is why I love movies so much.
Absolutely.
This is why I'm like, wow, you cost you $30 every time you go to. I'm like, for this, that's totally fine.
Yes.
This is why I go to the theater. This is why I need the big screen. This is why I need my snacks, my soda, my candy that I sneak in, whatever it is.
Yeah.
This is exactly why.
I really hope, and this is going to sound bad, and I know some people are not going to be a fan of this, but I really do hope that a lot of these non-superhero movies take note. Right, I really do hope that we get like copies of this in different versions, obviously. But I really think that if people could just kind of stick to this formula, and we get good action movies that are not related to all this other stuff. Yeah. We're gonna be back in business, baby. We're gonna be doing it again, and I cannot wait for these action movies about rock climbing. And about, again, if
sea diving or something.
Just everything, right? Just everything. Enough with the superhero stuff. Bring me all these other action movies. Because I cannot wait.
Can be good.
They can be.
And they just proved it.
And they proved it, and I hope they copy it, and I hope it's done again.
That's so
just
good.
Give it all to me, baby. I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Movie of the year.
So, for me. We're not saying anything different. Top Gun Maverick. Phenomenal movie. Go check it out.
9 out of 10 for me.
Oh, yeah. Same here.
Post a rating, but it's like a
9 out of 10.
It's like
for
a 9
sure.
out of 10, 100%.
I don't even know, man. The thing is, like, that last point, like, nitpicking.
Yeah.
That last point. If someone could argue me a 9.5 probably on this movie.
Yeah, 100%.
And I would probably get convinced.
Yeah.
Because, we're nitpicking at that point. So good. So good. All right. Let's move on because now I'm going to bring the room. Oh, no. We're still, I think, on a high for me, but I don't know about you. I know you weren't excited about what we're going to talk about next.
Oh. Yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay. I'm curious.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, I want you to go first.
For Miss Marvel?
Yeah, so we'll talk about Miss Marvel, which you did not have high hopes for at all.
I don't remember what I said. I don't give a shit about Miss Marvel. So I think my thing was like, I just don't care, like...
Yeah,
I'm not like, this is going to suck. I'm just like, I just don't care to see it. I don't give a shit about Miss Marvel.
Well, you don't care about the character for sure.
I don't care about the character.
Yeah, who is Miss Marvel?
Yeah, 100%.
Right, yeah.
But so I'll go first. I'll be honest.
All right,
I don't
go.
need to lie. So watch the first episode. Well, is it only one episode?
There's only one episode out.
So watch the first episode, and I loved Kamala.
Yeah.
Like, I loved her. And I loved her because she's this kid that is young and she's like lives in this fantasy. And everyone's like, you can't do that. You got to live in the real world. And she's like, but I love this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, that's...
Yeah.
I know
like,
that.
I get that.
Because growing up, I was like, I love superheroes. And I loved my superhero like notebooks and protractors and stuff. And everybody's like, you can't do that. It's fake. It's not real. That's stupid. Like, you can't live a life like that.
Yeah.
And so she's like going through, she's navigating, and she's like all the typical high school stuff. And she just has like such a passion for this superhero. And she's like, I just want to be that superhero. Like, that's who I want to be. And she like sticks to her guns the entire time.
Yes.
So like her character, I really, really like. Because like her parents, everyone's telling her like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, but this is what I like.
Right. love.
This is what I like. This is everything to me.
Right.
And I love that kids have that passion for stuff.
I know.
Like regardless of what their parents say. And it was an interesting thing with her parents because like they just don't understand. And they don't need to understand because they're adults. They're not supposed to understand the fantasy. And I loved when she's like going through the world and she's like seeing stuff on the streets.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, like that's like how I see stuff.
Because it's your mind,
it's like
right?
Embedded in your mind.
It's
I'm
your
like,
imagination
I'm
running
like,
wild.
I'm a grown adult. Like I still see stuff like that.
Yes.
So I loved her character. I loved her passion. I loved that she like has this drive for something so deeply. And then at the end of the episode, when her mom's like, "Are you gonna live in the real world or are you gonna live in a fantasy world? Like you have to decide."
Yeah.
And she like lays down. She's like, "Fantasy."
Fantasy. Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, let's go, kid. Let's do it."
So overall, you enjoyed it.
I mean, I liked her character so much.
Not the boy, not the.
Yeah, I mean, her friend was fine.
I forget.
I liked her parents. Like her family dynamic is really cool. Like her brother.
It's funny.
Like her brother seems like a goofball. But I guess I was just so invested in her, and I'm like, I want to know like what's up, like what's going on.
Right.
And her character, I'm already way more interested in than Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. Like, sorry,
interesting.
After like a 50-minute episode,
I'm
just like Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is just so unappealing to me.
The actual character.
The actual character. I like Brie Larson.
Yeah. Brie Larson.
But like even after watching Captain Marvel and her in Endgame, I'm like, she's extremely powerful and she does nothing.
Yeah.
And they even said in the show like, well, she's off doing other things.
Yeah,
so,
they explained that.
I don't care where she is. Like Kamala's already way more interesting than the actual Captain Marvel is, to me.
I don't disagree with you because we already, I think, have more. I mean, I know that there was an actual Captain Marvel movie, but we don't have a sense of Captain Marvel now, and I think that's a problem, right? And so these kids are like, she's worshiping Captain Marvel, and I don't know why, right?
Yeah,
like, we don't really understand because Captain Marvel does come in and fight Thanos and stuff, but
again, she did like
she's
one
not,
thing.
Right. She's not. She wasn't around.
Yeah.
Being an Avenger, saving the city or saving the world all the time, like the other Avengers were. Yeah. So I guess that is my like only biggest hang up is she explains why she likes Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And again, when you're watching the show in the context of the show, you're like, oh yeah, I could see where a little girl would look up to this super powerful woman, right? And say, I want to be her. Yeah. But it is odd that it is one of that is not been around. But
yeah, which I mean, I don't understand the fascination with her at all.
Yeah.
Like I could see from a comic standpoint.
Oh yeah.
But the world that we live in, people, the majority of people in the world right now only know these characters because the MCU exists.
Oh, of course.
That's it.
Of course. Yeah.
So to say like, oh, Captain Marvel's my favorite.
Well, I didn't know who Miss Marvel was.
Why? I knew there was one. I didn't know what her. I thought it was her daughter. Again, never read any of these comics, so please don't be like, what do you? I thought Captain Marvel had a daughter.
Just hearing the name, you thought
because you see like when you flip, I'm like, oh, she like had a daughter because a lot of superheroes have kids.
Yeah,
and I didn't like pick up the comic or read it. That's just what I thought.
Yeah, if you walk by, look at the cover real quick.
And then when I read up on her origins and stuff, I'm like, oh, so it's like a completely whole different situation, way different thing.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, which is fine. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Well, so what I'll say about the show is that it is a lot of fun. I think that I just had a good time watching it. Right. It's just because of what you're saying. It's a lot of these imagination things going on, and it reminded me a lot of the Tom Holland. Who directed the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies?
Tom Watts. Tom Waits. Tom Watts. No.
John
Watts.
It reminded me of that style, like his credits, you know, like the credits.
Yeah, like the Notebook.
Yes, like it reminded me a lot of that. And it, again, there's a play on high school, right? It's like a play on these kids being in high school. So they kind of do that whole thing. And so I kind of get that vibe a little bit from the show.
For sure.
Which is good. I enjoy all of the John Watts Spider-Man movies, so I'm here for it. But I did get that sense. But the other big impression that I got from this show, which I think might be a reason why you like the Kamala character, is because she reminds me. I don't know if she's like this in real life, or if this is the direction she's getting in the show, she reminds me so much of Haley Steinfeld. So much of Haley Steinfeld. And I actually think it's kind of a problem because I do think that we're running into oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember her name. Her character name. Kate Bishop and Kamala being like very similar.
I mean, I watched all her interviews, like the Tonight Show, that now she's doing everything, and she's not like Haley Steinfeld. Maybe,
in real life.
Maybe Kamala and Kate Bishop are like each other.
Well, so that's what I'm going to get into a little bit because they are, right? Because they're two people who look up to a hero and then become that hero, right? So they are very similar, and then the way that they act is very similar, which is sort of like a goofy, silly, or no, like a loosey-goosey, I think is sort of like a, again, and putting it all on the line, very passionate, knows exactly what they want out of life, goes for it.
Yeah.
Sort of that same drive, but I do think that could be like a problem, right? You have the same character that you're
doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, doing the exact same thing. And so the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, man, I kind of feel like I'm watching Kate Bishop right now, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
I mean, we'll know at the end of the series because at times Kate Bishop like annoyed me. I'm like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like you're kind of dumb.
Her decision, but she's young.
Like you're kind of dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, she's young. She's inexperienced. I think we're gonna get the exact same show.
Yeah.
We're going to get the exact same thing. I don't know if we're ever going to see Captain Marvel come in this show. It'd be weird, I guess, if we didn't.
Not 100%. Jesus. I expect Brie Larson to show up.
I'm going to say 85% chance of Brie
Larson
showing
I think
up.
she'll be like sitting in her room and like look out the window. She'll be sitting on the tree. Like after she goes through the episode, she'll be like, so you're the one making
all the fuss.
You're the one making messes. And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I had to, just thought I'd wanted to meet you or something.
But yeah, are we getting?
She's like, keep doing what you like. I approve or something, and then she'll like fly off.
Right.
I could see that.
I could see that.
That would be cool.
Too.
Like that would be.
I think that'd be great.
I wouldn't be like, oh my god, Brie Larson show. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like
I'm glad they did that.
Yeah.
Because I do think that there's probably 100% chance we're gonna see Captain Marvel come in like a Superman at the end of Shazam situation.
Oh, the fake.
Yeah.
But like, why? Oh, no.
I know. I'm just saying. At the very least, I think they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
But I do hope that we get Brie Larson.
Yeah, it'll be from like she's flying like from a distance.
Yeah.
She'll be like,
there she is.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
we see a thumbs up.
Yeah. But I mean, I did like it.
It's fun.
It's fun. But again, I understand some a young person when the world's like, hey, all this is fake. Like, be a grown up.
Yeah,
and I'm like, but I don't want to be a grown up. I like living in Fantasyland.
Right, of course.
Because like that's what gets me through my day.
Very relatable.
I'm like, yo, come on. Like, if that's what gets you through your day, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, cool for
what anybody says.
Yeah,
like,
but it's very relatable for people like us.
Yeah,
people like us who live in fantasy world all day.
100%. Like, I'm like, yo, keep doing what you're doing. I'm all about it.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed the show. I did have a good time with the characters. I do like the dynamics, like you're saying. I do like the art in the show. I think it's really, really, really cool. It's a really fun time. I would recommend this show.
Yeah, good. Mm-hmm.
But I do have worries. Like I am worried. Right.
I mean, my worry with any superhero thing, and we'll get into it, is like I want action and fighting and buildings. Like I want that in my superhero content. And I know this is not what that is for.
Right.
So, like, this is, like, more of a casual show, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But, like, when I watch superhero stuff, like, going forward, I, like, want massive fights. Like, that's just what I'm personally looking for.
I actually thought
But this is a good break from that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, whoa, like.
And I actually thought
I need to
that
relax and watch.
Lot of, I thought this show was actually done very well. Like, I really do think, like, all the acting has been fine, right? Like, everything's been good. I do like the set pieces. I do like what they're doing. Like I actually think it's been pretty high quality.
I liked her fantasy when they were talking about like their plan.
Get on the bus, and they're like riding off and stuff.
Yeah, like, everyone's gonna say it's like maybe I'll stop and talk to the press. Take a couple photos, sign a couple autographs, and she's like all glorified. I'm like, that's cool too.
That's what people. But that's exactly what kids do, right?
That's how like
the way her powers got revealed was sort of my only. My only problem, I guess. Not problem, but
supposedly that's not how any of her powers work.
Yeah, but the show is doing it like Green Lantern, which I had heard a long time ago that was going to be the case.
Again, when I did my limited research on the character, like read a paragraph, like that's not how her powers work. So I guess that made some people upset.
Yeah, she has Green Lantern powers.
Like essentially that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so which is fine. I also have reservations about like heroes becoming heroes because they find something in the attic. You know, it's like and then the family is obviously going to be like, I think it's even in the trailer, like you weren't supposed to find out yet, right? Like so, it was the hard part about that is like it was always destined for her to be great, right? So like you don't get the sense of like they do something to earn it, and that's what always I think is hard because
again, super Spider-Man-y.
Yeah. So because he gets bit by a spider, which I think
everyone's always like the spider chose him. I'm like the spider didn't choose shit. He was in the wrong place. Like that.
We're lucky
that spider easily could have bit Harry in the way back when, and it would
spider could have bit anybody, right? Yeah, and so what I think is hard for even a kid is like, oh, unless you are chosen, like you're not going to be a hero. You can't choose to be a hero.
Yeah,
you are chosen. Hero chooses to be you.
Yeah,
you cannot choose to be super.
Like it's just
superhero.
The luck thing.
Right, yeah, and that's what I don't. And that's not just this show. That's like all kinds of stuff, right? And that was my only thing. Is like, man, she was so passionate. She was so driven. She was just ready to be the best. And then she puts on a bracelet that she was always going to get.
Yeah,
you know, and so that was.
2 years earlier than she should have.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. But we'll see.
But again,
so
definitely,
far it's fun.
I mean, from the point where I first started, I was like, I'm not watching this show. Like, I'll continue to watch it.
Right. Again, which is a big leap.
Yeah, which is a big leap. And again, that's why I want to go back. I'm like, I don't remember what I said. I was like, I just didn't think and I still don't like, I'm a Miss Marvel fan. Like, she's the coolest character ever. Like, I'm like, yo, I like Kamala.
Yeah.
I like this character. I want to see what she does. I want to see how she navigates it.
You're absolutely right. And one thing that Marvel is good at is making us care about characters. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so again, they are doing the damn thing because I do. I like the character a lot. I like Kate Bishop. So me comparing her to Kate Bishop is not a negative.
Again, I don't know anything about Kate Bishop either.
Right.
Or this whole thing.
But again, I cared about it. I really enjoyed Hawkeye.
We'll see how it ends up.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. But Miss Marvel, a lot of fun.
Yep. All right. But another thing on Disney Plus, I got to stay on the same app.
Yeah, that was nice. You just moved on.
Had you one episode to the next?
Had you watched Obi-Wan since last week or the week before? Every week you do an episode, or did you didn't save them?
I do them in the morning right away.
Oh, okay. I did not. I watched them both
yesterday,
back to back.
Today?
No, yesterday.
Okay.
No, sorry, the day before. Yesterday I watched The Boys.
Okay. So 3 and 4.
Yeah, we watched. So
I'll let you go first on this one.
So Obi-Wan episodes 3 and 4. I am not changing my opinion about this show at all. Look, I said it in episodes 1 and 2. I'm saying it again in 3 or 4. This show is sloppy. This show is not well done.
Yeah.
And it upsets me to my core that I'm enjoying a Miss Marvel show more than I'm enjoying an Obi-Wan show.
Well, you're not the only one, so I mean, it's pretty much the world, the majority.
But why? Why? It's silly. It is silly. There are times when I am watching this show and I'm like, that is dumb.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did that. That is dumb. And you know what? One of those scenes was when Darth Vader and Obi-Wan strike their lightsabers for the first time. That was
in the desert?
Dumb. Yeah. And you see Obi-Wan run away.
Yeah.
And I was
he was like hiding the whole time?
Yeah. But and I don't disagree with him running away because he feels like he's not skilled, right? I don't disagree with him trying to evade Darth Vader. But they showed him running away like, do you remember watching Scary Movie? And they do like a spoof on the bad guy being like, I'm in whatever. And then so she turns around and then he runs to hide behind. Yeah, he runs to hide behind the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's how she turns, and when she looks back, he's gone. But the spoof is that the killer has to run away to hide behind something. Yeah. And that's what I felt like it was Obi-Wan doing. It was like running away. We just like got like this wide angle shot of him like running away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Why would you do that? And I get it that he is not fresh. His knives aren't sharp. I get that.
Been 10 years.
I get that.
Yeah.
But I again, I'm gonna relate this to movies that we've seen recently. If we're talking about the greatest fighter pilot, well, I guess not a fighter pilot, but the guest pilot in the Navy, right? We have Maverick going up there.
I mean, he had 4 kills. He's a fighter.
Yeah.
I guess, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
if I got it wrong.
How
But
do you?
he's got 4 confirmed kills. So I'd call him a fighter pilot.
And so what? Okay, so that's the best of the best, right? Obi-Wan is the best of the best. Again, you would argue that him and Darth Vader are the 2 best in the universe right now. And I just believe he would have a better tactic than running away and just handling it the way that he did. Because when you're the best of the best, I don't just think that all that stuff goes away.
Yeah.
And so I just did not like that whole scene. And again, I think they could have played it differently, but it wasn't done well.
Yeah.
And because I'm not saying that the writing is wrong. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have tried to evade Darth Vader. I'm not saying Darth Vader pulling out the lightsaber and finding him and torturing him was a bad idea. But the way that it's done is so bad. It's so bad.
Well, so their first time meeting up, that's not how I pictured it.
It should not have been.
I thought it was going to be like this grand, big thing, like dramatic.
Absolutely.
Like really kind of like startled them both.
Shouldn't have been on a bridge somewhere, like not in the desert on land.
It was just like, I'm like, oh, this is
what you're going to do.
This is the big grand reveal after 10 years. After he left him to burn in the lava and destroyed his life and walked away. Like, this is the big...
Right.
This is... Oh, all right, sure.
Well, and
like, it was cool because they were in the dark. Like, you always, want, like, the...
You see the lightsaber.
Yeah, and it was cool, like, when he dragged him in the fire, and he was like, cool, like, you get to, like, now you get to know how it feels. But I'm like, wasn't, like...
It's not. No, it's not.
I'm like, what? Like, it was just, like, I don't know. To me, it was fine. I'm like, okay.
But doesn't it just seem... like a budget issue? Like, you have people fighting in a desert. It just seems like a financial problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what you guys spent your money on, but don't put them in the desert. Like, don't put them fighting on
characters.
Yeah, like
what? To pay the actors.
Yeah, like exactly right. Yeah, we paid Ewan. It's your fault, Ewan, that we're here on this desert land.
Yeah.
Because we'd much rather be up in space and have you guys meeting for the first time.
That's
on a deck up in spaceship.
And that's how I thought it was going to be. And
because it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's not Desert Wars.
Yeah.
Let's come on, guys. And so I just get really bugged that it's just not
So do you think episode 4?
So episode 4 was, again, I am struggling with the Leia stuff for sure. But
nothing, at least to me, nothing like really happened.
Nothing happened at all.
It was a 35-minute episode.
Yeah, it was a shorter episode.
It was crazy short. Like nothing. Nothing is happening.
But so every episode has like their silly thing, right? And this episode had the silly moment where Obi-Wan puts the water back into the ocean.
And then he's like
moves it.
And then no water came out of the door. No! Was that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit I'm talking about with this show. And they're like
not even like it was slowly like through the center crack. I'm
so,
like, there was a massive amount of water.
And it
was directly right behind
That
him.
is not how it would happen. The only way that it would happen is if he uses the Force to do it, right?
Yeah.
But he's not going to outrun a water, a waterfall thing that's happening in the ship underwater. So much. It was so dumb. But that's the kind of shit I'm talking about with this show. There's so much going on. And I honestly can't even remember all of it. I'd have to like go... frame by frame to talk about everything that pisses me off in this show. But it's just silly, dumb shit that people in the writer's room should not let get by. I don't get it. He outruns water. No, he does not.
And
no,
then
he does
it
not.
Right through the door, and none of the water happens.
No water comes out at all. No, that is not what would happen. That is not what would happen. And so Again, there are ways to do it, though. He could have already been on the other side of the door, and then he could have cracked it from the other side of the door, right? Like, there's simple fixes for these things that people can do that make sense. This show does not make sense at all. And
it's also just kind of boring.
It is boring.
Like,
and we talked about that last time, too. Yeah, we talked about that last time, too, because we said we saw it was essentially an hour and a half, and nothing had happened, right? And I'm like, dude, that an hour and a half to some people is a full movie. Like, we should have already had an arc. We should have already gone through everything where we felt like we saw a whole movie. And now we're 3 hours in, and still.
I mean, I don't think.
No.
Again, I'm not.
Because what are we waiting for? We all know what we're
what's
waiting
gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, they're supposed to fight. That's what we want.
That's what we're all waiting for. That's episode
and again,
6.
and everyone's like, oh, well, it's the nostalgia factor again. You just want them to fight. I was like, but there's a story reason behind it.
Well, and don't.
I still believe that.
Well, and it's bullshit for anyone to argue different. You called this show Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Like, the whole reason you got people in was on the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
So don't tell me that I can't rely on the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
That's what got me in the door.
I like that people are willing to fight. Like, it's.
Oh, dude, I would go.
The whole thing of us being on the internet now is crazy. Because people want to fight, and I'm like, I won't do it. Like, I'm not gonna be like, let's.
Of course.
Like, but it is funny that some people are like, this is the greatest show of all time. I'm like,
who is saying that? I want to talk to that person.
Very few people, but there are people like, this is great. Like, this is blah blah blah. I'm like, okay.
I could see someone enjoying this show. For the nostalgia factor.
Yeah, and for me, I'm like, oh, it's fine.
I know. Have you reviewed it?
Like, I'm like, no, because I don't have a lot to I'm like.
I'm speaking for both of us here.
No, that's really how I feel. Like, I'm like, it's fine. I don't mind it. Like,
it shouldn't be
interesting enough. Like,
it shouldn't be fine.
But to me, I'm like, I don't like. I'm not excited to put this show. I'm not like, God, dude. I can't wait another week, man. I gotta know what's gonna happen.
I know.
Like, they don't leave it off at any point where I'm like, dude, I'm coming back next week.
I know.
At the end of every episode, I could have forgotten to come back next week.
Yeah.
And just not come back.
I mean, I agree.
That's it.
I'm so mad.
I mean, we gotta finish it out.
We have to. Well, we have 2 episodes left, right? But again,
Disney knows that. They know they're good. They're gonna get 2 more viewing hours. Well, not even that. If
these episodes are the best, if these episodes are amazing, I wonder. I wonder how I'll feel about it.
What if budget just goes way up?
Exactly.
And it's like something crazy, and you're like, holy shit!
It absolutely could. It could absolutely.
Yeah, it could answer a lot of questions.
But the problems that I have with the show are not all necessarily writing problems. Some of the problems I have with the show are director problems. And so
I've heard more of that actually.
And so there's like, that is not going to be a budget problem. That's a talent problem.
That's just how you
hired the wrong person to make this show problem. Yeah. Right. So I don't think that we're going to solve all of our issues with money. I do think some of it's very CW. I do mean, and it's on TV. I get it. That's what I was trying to explain last time. Right.
Yeah,
my expectation needs to come down. But I wanted it to be a higher quality show, and it's not. And maybe the next 2 episodes are going to be higher quality. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you have a bad person in the captain's seat. It's not going to fix all of those issues. And so it's just a bummer. We tried.
I'm excited for the last 2 episodes because I do think they're going to be like,
the best
not
two.
That they're going to be the best 2, that they're going to have something that is cool.
An action sequence.
And sometimes for me, like, if you give me some, like, a crazy 5 to 6 minute, like, battle.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that was worth my hour of my time.
Well, yeah, we talk about.
So, like, that's all I need. And that's why they always say, like, well, the third act of the movie is, like, always big and bad and this big CGI mess. And sometimes for me, I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Like, that was
sweet.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
That's sweet, dude.
Of course.
And that's totally fine with me. So if they give me some Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, like, a really good dialogue.
Yeah.
And, like, a really good conversation between the two of them. He's like, this is never what I wanted. Like, I loved you. You were my everything to me, and this whole thing happened, and he's like, don't fucking care, and they go at it, and it's like this, all
right,
and that's like a nostalgia factor thing.
Yeah.
But for me, that would be like, okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, so to me, I'm like, all right, that was...
I don't care if they're appealing to my nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
I love nostalgia stuff.
Yeah.
But my question...
But give me a good dialogue scene
But my
first.
question to you is, what's going to change about Obi-Wan? What's going to make him all of a sudden a great Jedi again? What?
I mean, something will have to happen to Leia for him to be like, no.
But
and then he like...
But
I don't know. See, like,
why?
It's hard for me. Like,
why couldn't he do that before then?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no. So again, that's a writer's problem.
Yeah.
But I don't know why all of a sudden Obi-Wan would be able to get all of his skills back.
And I thought of that wrong because that's a superhero. Like, that's like for like any superhero that like hey, like your son was killed by so and so.
Yeah.
And then they're like, boom, and then they're like, all of a sudden.
Right.
Like the way Thor did.
Yeah.
When Thor's like, he was like getting the shit beat out. There's a run. And then like this power
big
comes out.
Old thing
Comes out of you. And he's like, let's go. So that's.
But it was established that Thor had those powers.
Correct.
And
yeah.
so now the writers have put themselves into a corner saying Obi-Wan can't use he can't use his
it is funny that he got this far and he's like still like afraid.
Yeah, he's still very timid. He's not using his
like
lightsaber.
This child
he's
was
not using
kidnapped,
the Force.
Like use every tool in the tool bag.
He's just using his blaster, right? And so
like still refuses to like do anything.
Is gonna?
I guess nothing.
You don't give me a Rocky montage showing me that he's ready to go again, I'm not gonna believe a damn swing that happens between him and Darth Vader. Darth Vader, who has clearly continued to sharpen his knives, right? And so I don't know what you're gonna do to prove to me that Obi-Wan can beat Darth Vader again. Like what are you?
Dang, what if they just leave it off and they like have a fight and?
Well, what I think is gonna happen is the main Inquisitor girl. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of shows in the last week.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna flip, and I think she'll be the one that fights Darth Vader for Obi-Wan. And so that's what I anticipate happening because you can't. They've already established that Obi-Wan can't handle his own. Yeah. Now you got to get someone else. You got to get another fighter to come in.
That's sad that he can't handle his own in his own show.
I agree. Hey, I'm just speculating
here. You have to have somebody else do it.
I'm just speculating.
But I mean, even so, even the fact that we have to have that conversation
because he's not
is
good.
saying a lot. Yeah.
I agree.
Man, this guy's old. He's rusted. And
he ain't gonna be
he
good.
Ain't having his time. Let's make a show about that.
Yeah.
Whoa, what? Guy can.
Where he can't do anything.
Guy can barely move.
Yeah.
Let's make a show about it.
He runs from everything. Yeah. All he does is run away from problems.
So we'll see. We'll see where we end up.
I'm lukewarm on this show, man. I would love for someone to talk to me about why this is the best show ever.
I know a couple.
This show is sitting at a solid 60% for me right now.
Yeah.
And so I would.
Passing? No.
It's passing for Rotten Tomatoes.
It's passing in high school.
Yeah. It doesn't pass through life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm upset. So, all right.
The big one.
So, The Boys.
The big dog.
4 episodes out so far. They released 3 right away.
At least 3, 1 this week.
There's 1 this week, but we didn't talk about it last week. So, I have to say, the most shocking thing I've ever seen in my entire life at the beginning of episode 1.
Yes, and I forgot about something else shocking.
That also happened in the first 3 episodes?
No, that I've seen. Because I saw it, and I said, when have I ever seen anything like that in my entire life? That was
different
extreme.
movie?
Yeah,
or
like a different
show?
situation.
Oh.
And not as bad.
I don't think you could ever get as bad.
No, you can't get as bad, but I was thinking of things that I've seen.
Related to the penis scene.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, what?
So, and again, it's a different thing, but like something that I remember seeing, I'm like, what did I do? Whoa.
Well, yeah, that made you turn away.
Like, whoa. Sebastian Stan had a significantly long conversation with his own penis in a show a couple months ago.
That is true.
The gore factor was very different.
Yes. Did the penis explode, Diego?
No.
Did it explode?
But I'm like, why is this? Okay. There's a lot going on with penises.
Yeah.
But that was something else. I'm like, when have I seen something like that?
You're like, I remember.
And I'm like, oh yeah, Sebastian Stan had like a 5-minute conversation with his penis.
You're like, I remember where a penis was in full frame.
Yeah, I was
like I've seen that before.
Yeah. But this one starts off strong. So I'm like, yo, season 3, like, let's do this. They left so much up in the air.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm ready to get all these questions answered. And I think for the most part, they answered a lot of them in the first 4 episodes. Because now they're completely off to something else.
Right, exactly. But the show is so good at that.
The show's so good, but they start off
it's so 11
minutes in.
And just shocking off.
Termite buddy. Termite man.
Yeah.
Termite man.
Yeah.
Crawls up another gentleman's urethra. Yeah. He's doing his thing. They're having a good time at a party.
Yeah.
Some drugs. And
drugs that go into your nostrils.
Yep. So they're doing that. But termite button. Is it termite?
I think
buddy?
It's just the termite. Isn't it just termite?
So his general idea is like Ant-Man. He can shrink down and go back to normal size. So it goes in this man's penis, sneezes, goes back to normal size. While he's inside the man's penis, completely
obliterates the man completely.
Just completely in half.
Yeah.
And they take you on the ride the entire time.
And if you think for 1 second that they don't show every bit of that, you are wrong.
And it's not a quick, you're like, whoa. It's a significantly 3 to 4 minute scene.
Everything all the way through. Yeah. We don't cut away. We don't imply anything.
Nope.
We show you the entire thing because we want you to understand what kind of show it is that you are watching. And it is one where we do not look away. No. That is the show that we are watching. And there's another scene that happened in episode 4 where I also was cringing the whole time.
Episode 3.
Episode 4 of The Boys.
Episode 4? Oh.
Yeah.
Wait.
There are 4 episodes so far.
Well, there's which one in episode 4?
Well, so I was going to say it's not as bad, but for some reason I was cringing the whole time when the Deep is eating Timothy.
Oh God. That was episode 3.
That was episode 3?
That was 3, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cuz episode 4 is when they go to Russia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
That was bad.
It was
But
so
I
bad.
was felt more bad for the Deep than
of course.
Anything. I'm also
because then he comes on the show. That's right. That's the end of that.
That was also very gross.
Episode
the 3. Other one I thought was gross. Let's get all the gore out of the way real quick.
Yeah.
Was when the guy gets his face blown off in the alley. And you can see the inside of his throat and the blood is just going up and down when he's breathing. Because he's still alive and he's breathing.
When?
When Huey follows what's her face into the alley, the guy that.
Yes.
Like, I can't stop calling. Stop calling me that name. Yeah. And then he's still alive.
Yes.
He's breathing, so the air is coming up his throat, and the blood's going up and down.
Yeah, and but again, it shows you everything.
And it's like.
Yeah. That was episode 2, right?
Yeah.
The end of episode 2,
yeah.
and then she blows up his entire body.
Yeah, and she's like, I can't. But he's sitting there still breathing.
I know, but again,
you can see all
everything
inside of his throat.
Everything, yeah.
And the blood's just it's rising and falling and rising and falling, and he's choking on his own blood.
So it sounds like every
this show's really graphic.
Every episode has its moment where
the show's really graphic. I thought it was crazy when
but it's graphic, but there's not a single thing I don't think is justified.
No,
every single piece that we get, because even in the part where. I mean, the penis scene is obviously, I think, for shock and awe, but we're trying to figure out how much of a piece of shit that termite is, right? And the thing that we establish in that scene is that these guys are now the good boys. They're working for the government, right? And so...
And then he puts them in the Coke and...
Yeah, and he shakes them up and makes them OD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm like... But so there's purpose to what's going on, right?
To
move the story forward, which I... appreciate the use of the shock and awe to move the story forward. Because even in the scene of the Deep eating Timothy, the whole point is to have Homelander show the Deep that he's still his bitch.
Yeah, right? And I really want to see what's going on with the Deep's wife. Because she's doing some weird stuff. Anyways, but the point is...
she's like, eat the fucking octopus.
So season 3, Homelander's basically going off on a rampage.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I'm going to do whatever I want. No one's going to tell me what to do anymore.
Right.
And the whole idea is the boys and the members of the 7 are like, we need to kill him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we need to figure out a way to kill him. So they're researching this weapon. And so they go off on all this stuff. So now they're in Russia.
Yeah.
The whole idea is we have to kill him before he kills all of us.
Yes, exactly.
Because in one episode, he explains exactly how he would do it. He's like, hey. And he's calm about it the entire time, which makes it so painful.
Yeah, he's talking to Starlight.
And he's like, hey, so here's what I'm going to do. So first thing is like, I'm going to cut the power grid.
Yeah.
Everyone loses power.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to
cell towers, like all of it.
Yeah, no internet connection, no light, nobody has heat, water, anything. He's like, so I'm going to take care of that first. And then he like explains how he's going to destroy New York.
Right. He's like, I'll destroy New York for the fun of it.
And like, he's just, Anthony Starr is like, as Homelander is insane. It is
amazing.
And then in episode 4, when he flies off Starlight, he's like, I just want to show you something.
I'm going to show you a beautiful view.
Yeah, right? And then he tore this man apart and left his body on the roof.
Right.
And again, super calm.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, so stop plotting against me. Like, let me do what I want to do.
Right.
I don't want to be bothered. I just want to live a happy life.
Real quick on that scene, real fast, because I actually was kind of confused by it. And I don't know if you know, if I missed something. Why does A-Train betray him? Because it was already established.
I don't think they say.
But so it's not because it was established that the A-Train hates Homelander.
Yes.
And so why?
I think they'll come back to it.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, because they left him up there on the roof. So Starlight's going to go back and be like, what did you, like, you sold me out.
A-Train told me about your plan.
And I bet give A-Train his powers back, man. Please, get that guy running.
They're going to.
Like, they're
going
to. Like, I hate when they do that.
Yeah, they take the power away.
Like, you take the power away from the hero.
Yeah.
And like, you're like, just get him running again. And maybe that's what it is. He's like, yo, like I got my power, like I'm running. Like, what you want? Like, I don't care anymore. I got my power back. Like,
you think he does like a shot of V or something, and then?
Well, I know he can't because it was killing him, and that's why he's like, yo, I'm gonna go back to the old neighborhood and blah blah blah. But like maybe they found like he's like, here's a new strain, like this will keep you healthy.
Here's his temporary V.
Yeah, so I don't think they say why A-Train sold him out.
Yeah, because that was like a big question mark I had. I was like, what A-Train? We just established that A-Train hates Homelander
like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. And then now he turns on this new guy and get on Homelander's good side. I guess I didn't but again, this show is very good about about raising these questions that make you coming back for more.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to come back for more and more and more, and I want to answer all these questions because now I want to know what everyone's powers are too, right? Everyone on the temporary V. Mm-hmm. What does everybody do? Huey got some teleportation, which was hilarious.
Huey has super naked powers.
Yeah. It's like your cock's out.
Poor guy. He's like, woo!
Okay. My bad.
But he's got powers, and I mean, I think at
Butcher's
one point they're all going to have
right. And so, but again, the show is very good about like.
And I know they won't, but don't kill Kamiko because I'm going to start petitioning and stuff.
So
like, and I know she doesn't because they did an interview.
Yeah.
So like, I know she doesn't, but like, don't even pull at that thread.
Are they going to go back and shoot her up with some temp V? You know, again, and why? And so there's so many questions, right? So many questions because the whole point of the show is so good, right? Like you're saying, they're trying to figure out how to kill Homelander. They say that there's a weapon in Russia that can kill Homelander because this weapon killed Soldier Boy. That was the whole thing, right?
The weapon is Soldier Boy.
The weapon is Soldier Boy. He's the one that takes powers away from superheroes.
Yeah.
So all he's got to do is blast Homelander. Yeah. Makes Homelander a person.
Yeah.
That's the thought, right? That we have so far.
The way I'm understanding it, yes.
Takes powers away. Boom. But now Soldier Boy is on the loose. And so
but I think it's
how many questions do you have at the end of episode 4? Dear God.
But again, this is one of those shows like, dude, I'm coming back next week. Like, I'm so excited.
I cannot
this is incredible.
For
like, this is great. And I was talking to one of my buddies. He's like, man, I'm just kind of tired of like the superhero stuff. Like, I heard it's great, but like, I don't know. Like,
I
need to take I need to take a break. And I'm like, listen, this show has nothing to do with superheroes. Like, yeah, you mean like the group?
The show's anti-superhero.
Like, this is the exact opposite of anything superhero related. Because it's not. Like, it has nothing to do with superheroes.
Right.
It really doesn't. And it's so good. And it's one of the only shows that I can look back on. It's like, I love every character. I don't like Ashley. I want her to get her.
But it
has a purpose.
Exactly.
She's annoying on purpose.
Exactly.
I just don't like her character because she's annoying, because she's like, like that typical like corporate sidekick, like the worst type of person.
Well, we think.
And I'm like, I hate you.
We think Homelander's evil, but who's pulling all evil strings
Yeah.
to help him out, right?
Like,
so
yeah,
she's
exactly.
just as evil.
So, like, that's why, like, I don't, like, she's doing a great job. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I want her to get, like,
the actress
punched
is doing
in the
a
face.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want her to
she's
die.
the only character I don't like, but I don't
want her
like
to
her
die.
because of what she's doing,
Right.
not because she's a bad character.
You don't like her because she's doing a good job.
Exactly, yeah, because she's doing, good evil work. But, like, all these other characters, like, I love I love every single one of them.
Me too. I agree.
Every single one of them.
There's not a time when anything is happening on screen where I want it to hurry up.
No, not at all.
Like, let's just get through this scene so I can get to the part where I want. I'm interested in every single thing happening.
It's so much fun.
And again, you could have argued
so
that the A-Train stuff was kind of slowing things down.
That's the only thing I don't like. I'm like,
but
because his powers are so cool.
Yeah,
when he has them.
Well, and when he was a dick, it was interesting.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm getting confused, because we sort of felt like he was coming around to not being a dick.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, cool.
Now all of a sudden he's a dick again, and I don't know what's happening to tie that, right?
Again, we'll find that out.
But
like,
I think it's something that they're setting, because we see too much of him for like all these seeds to not get planted, right? So obviously they're planting all
Queen
these.
Maeve though, which is a huge bummer.
Not
like,
a lot of
so
Queen Maeve.
little of her, yeah.
But she's
coming in, yeah.
She's the whole. She's pulling all the strings for getting Homelander killed.
Inside.
Yeah, she's the inside man, right?
But I like that. Like, there's so many just fights I want to see. Like,
we're gonna see
so many one-on-ones.
We're gonna see the Maeve Homelander fight.
Yeah, that we have to see. But again, at the end of it, like, if you've seen all 3 episodes, like, nobody can, like, we're gonna need 5 or 6 of us, and they're like, and more.
Oh
like,
yeah,
and more.
We need
like,
1,000 of us.
Like, that's just how it is, which makes it so. Like I'm so nervous for it, because I'm like,
well, we're gonna
they can't kill anybody, but maybe they can't. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do.
What character are they gonna get rid of is the first thing I thought of.
Yeah,
because you do run into an issue where, come on, like, these guys can't survive everything.
Yeah,
somebody has to die.
And it's gotta be like A-Train or the Deep. Like, it's gotta be one of those guys. Which I love both of them. Like, I love Chase Crawford as the Deep.
Me too. Again, like, doing a great
job
being
fine and good.
A weirdo.
But it's just, I just
somebody
want
has
to see
die.
more. Someone's got to die.
Someone has to die.
I'm excited for Jensen Ackles to get in there and start doing some stuff.
I'm like, where is this guy at?
But I heard the last 2 episodes are like, oh my God, this is the greatest show that ever existed in the history of ever.
There's 8?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I heard 7.
So we're halfway through.
Yeah.
And it is way better than anything I've seen on Disney Plus.
Oh, it's not even a question.
Yeah. Thank you, Amazon.
But I heard from the people that get it all at once, like, yo, the first 6 episodes are like, they're fine. But like 7 and 8, like, are just gonna change your like whole worldview on this entire show. And I'm like, how? Oh,
I know.
It's already so good.
I believe it though, because this show is so well done.
Episode 6, I guess, is a rough one.
Really? Oh, see,
so
someone dies. Someone die? Oh, you know what's going on though?
Yes.
Oh, don't say anything to me.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I don't know about the story, but I know. So episode 6, which I thought was insane. This is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true. That there's a viewer warning before the episode.
Of
like,
what?
The episode is so graphic that they have to put a warning before the episode.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like borderline.
Pornographic.
Okay.
So the episode's called Herogasm.
Okay.
And again, for people that saw it before, I don't know if it's true or not. They're like, there's a warning sign before episode 6.
Dang.
Like a viewer discretion advised, extreme, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I know. Do you think so?
That's insane.
Do you think that you can do this show on a soft R instead of a hard R, borderline NC-17? Do you think you have to be at the edge to make this show good? Because the issue that I have with this show,
so invested in it.
I know.
So I know there are movies out there, like indie movies and movies from other countries that are just in fact, so graphic, like things you can't even watch.
What's that Kristen Stewart movie coming out?
I heard that, like, people were like, I can't even look. I can't even look at what's happening.
Because it's like body.
They like do surgeries on people.
Yeah. But it's so graphic. That people are.
So I know there are movies out there.
Yeah.
That like you can't possibly fathom what's happening.
Right.
which is like, and they told us in school, like it's these movies from other countries.
It's a weird art though for them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. It's
exactly.
not. Yeah, it's like it's very like everything is very intentional, which
correct.
I think,
and it is still art, but like to us, it's probably very different.
Yes,
but there's like movies like where they do like open brain surgery and like have sex with someone's brain, like just things you couldn't possibly imagine.
Shit,
like would ruin your life, like would scar you forever.
Like don't. Yeah.
And The Boys isn't that show.
It's not. It's not.
It's a bloody show.
But
it's just a bloody show.
But because of how bloody it is, because you're right. It's not like they're.
I think this show is exactly where it needs to be. I think it has to be.
But I could see where this gets people to not watch the show, right? And
yes,
so
yes.
It would have so many more viewers if you. And again, that's why I appreciate this show so much, because they know that if they toned it down, they would get more viewership.
Yeah.
But this show knows exactly what it needs to be.
But I think they're like, nah, this is what we're doing.
No, because it would say this is what it has to be.
Yeah.
To be good, and we're not gonna stray from that at all.
Yeah.
And
which is fine.
And
which is totally fine.
So I'm like, man, I get big kudos for, I'm not saying that something has to be graphic to be good. I'm saying that The Boys specifically knew what it needed to be good.
Yeah.
And that's why I get frustrated with other shows, because these other shows also know what they need to be good, and they choose not to do that because they're trying to get viewership.
Correct. And I think it is still in a world where like don't do that, they'll get mad.
Right.
Or they'll be upset about that. So
and The Boys doesn't worry about that at all.
Look at the themes from season 2.
Oh my, yeah, exactly.
And they said something and I obviously can't say it, but they said something in season 3. I'm like, you just said that.
I know.
Oh my God.
There was some shit that said.
Oh my God, you just said that?
Yeah. They go for it, right?
And it's again in such a good way where it's not like, well, I don't care. I'm gonna say and write whatever I want.
No,
this is my show, and I don't care if it upsets you. Like I think they're doing it because it's really good for the show.
Absolutely, because it's good for the character.
It's good for the characters. It's good for the story.
It makes sense.
It's good for the people that truly love this show.
Right.
People like me and you.
Oh yeah.
The reviewers and everybody that we watch are loving it, and they're like, and they probably know that they're like, hey, these people love our show, and we're going to continue to do it the same way.
And they love it for this reason.
We don't need 5 billion people to watch this show.
Exactly.
Because the people, the few people that love it so much,
right,
love it, and they're talking about it to everybody, and that's how we'll get more people.
I completely
like my buddy's
agree.
like, hey man, I'm not liking that.
You're like, no, you watch.
And I'm like, hey,
show.
watch the show. Like,
you watch
like,
this
give it,
damn
like, give it a
show.
shot. Give it a shot. Trust me. And that's how more people are streaming this show.
I equate the show to like a comedy show. Like you go to a comedy show and you have an expectation that you're going to hear some crazy shit, and in the hopes that you're not the hopes. What's the right word? Like the whole point of the crazy shit is to make you laugh, right? So the comedians obviously,
you know what it's about.
Yeah, the comedians obviously saying stuff that maybe they don't even personally believe, or they don't believe it to that extent, but they know it's funny, so they're doing it for that, to help move them along. And that's what I believe this show is, in the graphic sense, right? It's like we know exactly what it's going to take to get you to enjoy this show, and that's why we're doing this.
And it works.
It works.
It
makes sense. It makes sense.
I'm all in. I'm ready for the next 4 episodes.
The Boys is the best thing I'm watching right now.
Yeah, it's one of the best things I've seen. It's top 5 my personal favorite shows of all time.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm here for it.
I could just.
We
got renewed for season 4, so we're gonna see some more stuff. But like, I do want it to end at that right point.
I agree.
If it ends after season 4, like, I'm okay with that.
Absolutely.
This show's so good. It's so phenomenal.
Don't ruin it.
Don't be like, let's do 10 seasons. Because that doesn't work.
It doesn't make
sense. If you stop it after 4, again, if 4 is phenomenal, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
But this is not an 8-season show.
No.
Because people have to start dying.
I agree.
They
completely.
Have to start dying.
And you have to, if you want to kill Homelander, then you have to kill Homelander. And once you kill Homelander, the show's over.
Correct.
The show is done.
And again,
or
they're not killing Homelander this season.
I don't think. Yeah, well, you can if you're coming back from 4, right?
There has to be things you do, but these
you kill Homelander or Butcher, then your show's done.
Yeah,
you end the show when one of them dies.
Yeah, and again, maybe they can find a way that they're not in every single episode, or they're in there has to be some somebody has
Yeah, I know what
something
you're saying.
has to change.
Yeah.
And they could get into season 4, episode 1, and be like, hey, this is our last.
And that's
Which would make me excited.
Yes.
So then let me tell you why. Because they're like, hey, we're ending.
Yeah.
We can do whatever the fuck we want.
We have no reason to save anybody.
We can do anything we want.
I do think they're going to Game of Thrones it in the last season. I do think everybody's going to die. And I think...
I haven't seen Game of Thrones yet.
Oh. Well, but there's a thing where, in Game of Thrones, the characters you love die.
Yeah, of course.
That's a thing that happens.
But yeah,
I think I think they're gonna absolutely Game of Thrones.
But that's why when they announced ending after season 4, I'm like, oh my god,
they're not gonna hold back.
What is gonna happen?
And
so I'm excited.
I am super excited.
Let's go.
Super excited. Best show, best form of entertainment I've seen in a while.
I love it.
Watch The Boys. All right.
Real quick.
That wraps up our review section. Now we just got upcoming stuff. Oh, but you wanted to talk a little bit about a trailer that we
I just don't know what you thought. So that's it.
Okay.
You don't need to talk about it.
I know. There's
I don't know what you
so
thought.
much going on right now.
Yeah,
much content. There are actually a ton of trailers that I was actually trying to get through.
Yeah, so I'm going to do two. I want to just do 2, and one of them you probably haven't seen.
Okay.
But Black Adam.
Black Adam trailer, I am feeling it. I'm feeling the darkness of it. I like it. I don't think I've seen enough yet to maybe sway one way or the other. But are we seeing? Does this have anything to do with Shazam at all?
So I don't think at the moment, but I know it has to.
At some point, are we gonna see that?
You have to.
Yeah. Okay.
Again,
So
from the limited that I know about these, you have to have Shazam.
But sorry. Maybe a better question is this all happening in the world that we know of DC?
It has to. Yeah.
Okay. So
it doesn't have to, but I believe it is.
The problem then that I'm gonna have is why you can't have someone as powerful as Black Adam hit the Earth and then not get everybody else involved. And so I am gonna sort of be like, but if he's tearing up cities, wouldn't they sound the alarm here?
And it has to be. I was gonna say Zachary Levi. It has to be Shazam.
Oh right.
I don't. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be anything.
But I mean, I've traditionally those are the two I see go at it, and Black Adam and Superman. But I mean, that's an unknown thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, Superman and Shazam team up to beat Black Adam,
right?
And
they do a whole thing,
and that's what
I love the Black Adam Superman fight.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's such a great thing because again, Superman is more powerful, but in that sense, I don't know how they're gonna do the Rock. Black Adam can he has no problem going face to face with Superman. He's like, let's go.
Well, and
right now,
Black Adam has a weakness for Superman, magic, right? And so he hurts Superman.
Yeah,
and
he can.
Yeah, and so Superman has to find out. Oh, what he does hurts me.
Yeah.
So now, look,
that's I love.
I have a bloody nose, right?
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
I love that fight.
Shit.
Again, putting the cart before the horse, but
right.
I love that fight.
But my point about the trailer is that I actually feel like if it's a standalone movie, I'm going to enjoy it more.
And I think it will be. And they might make a reference. They might say
but even then, I'm going to be like, well, then why isn't he here? Why isn't Superman here then?
They might, and I think always the way they do it is they mention a city. I think is how they would do it.
And so I would much rather them just leave it alone.
and that's what I think too. But I think if they tie it in somehow, it'll be. And this is what I thought of when I watched the trailer a few times. Is he's gonna be like, I'm the most powerful. I'm a god. He's like, there's nothing. There's nobody.
Right.
I can do anything I want. I'm the most powerful thing. And someone's gonna say something well, there's
Superman.
Don't ever go to Metropolis then. It'll be something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm invincible. It's like, well, stay away from Metropolis then. Or something like that is what they'll say.
Well, and what I hope they don't do that, first of all. Because based on the trailer, it does seem like The Rock is just wreaking havoc, going to town, unleashing. And I would love to see this movie if Black Adam can just unleash. And I don't think you can do that inside of the DCEU because then everyone does wonder where everyone else is at. Even Wonder Woman. Why isn't Wonder Woman coming down then to stop this guy?
Like, yeah, and I know we think that, like, for everything. Like, with all the Marvel stuff, we're like, well, where was so-and-so this entire time? Like,
but because it depends on the level of destruction, I think, right?
Because, I feel like
you destroy a city, not so bad if it's a small town or something. Yeah. But you get to these big major cities and you start destroying and killing people.
Yeah.
He even says, like, the guy says, heroes don't kill people. And he says, well, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, now he has to get stopped.
Yeah, I don't want him to thread the line of, like, am I good? Am I, like, be bad.
Exactly.
Again, I don't know a ton about Black Adam. But
he's an anti-hero from what I know.
My experience and the animated and the very few comics he is a bad guy for the most part.
I think he's
he was very, and I know they're doing the Justice is like gets very confusing.
I know.
But to the Justice League, he was very disruptive.
Right.
He was very much in the way.
Well, yeah.
He was always like the Justice League had a task. And then Black Adam showed up and they're like, like now we got to go deal with him.
Yeah.
So like he was very much in the way.
Black Adam will just kill the bad guy.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Like he'll just like, you're a bad guy, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, we got to like capture them, put them in handcuffs and put them into the asylum.
So for the Justice League, he was always
like what?
Like a thorn in their side type of thing.
Absolutely.
But again, and now they got Hawkman. Adam,
which is cool.
Dr. Fate. I never thought I would see a live action Dr. Fate. Like that's insane.
The movie looks good.
Like it looks insane. When I first, so real quick for me, when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, I don't know.
Like how you feel? Like how does it sit?
Okay. So I went away for like 30 minutes, came back, watched it again. I'm like, okay, all right,
yeah, you're
cool.
On board.
Let's do this.
Okay.
And I was laughing because I was like, Black Adam had like slick jet black hair, but I'm like, that's fine. Went away for
The Rock is bald, but
went
whatever.
away for another 30 minutes, came back, watched it a third time. I was like, all right, this is a Thursday nighter.
Oh yeah,
it was Thursday nighter. So I went to my boss. I was like, we think Thursday night? He's like, yeah, Thursday night.
All right, cool.
All right,
cool.
That's all.
Let's do it. That's all. That's all I needed to know.
All right, so then I'm good.
You're probably gonna get the Tuesday request for it.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah. So I bet you that pops up. I can't wait either. And honestly, I enjoy most of The Rock's movies in general. I know he's sort of like a Tom Cruise in that he's heavily involved in the projects that he is in, and so I do trust this guy to give me a good action movie.
Which is crazy because early on he's like, I want to do the Superman thing. He's like, I want to. He's like, that's how I want to be represented. Like I want to go toe to toe. And this was before all the merger and everything.
I remember. Yeah.
And they're like, well, what are you thinking for the character? He's like, I want to fight Superman.
Yeah, and that's like, but again, I don't know how you
at
don't
the time
do that.
And like all this stuff. I'm like,
you're like, that would be amazing.
That would be crazy.
Now it's such a mess.
And also with everything going on with the DC, blah blah, super quick. Dwayne Johnson came out. He's like, I want to do this for a long time.
Black Adam.
Yeah. Or what? He's like, I want to be a part of this for a long time. So if Warner Discovery doesn't make that Dwayne Johnson's the biggest movie star in the world. Like, there's no question about it.
Hands down.
If you do not keep him in some sort of capacity,
he's a $1 billion.
You're lost.
He's a $1 billion actor.
You're lost. Yeah. Like, that'd be the dumbest thing you could do.
Whatever it takes.
Dumbest thing you could possibly do.
You call up Henry Cavill and be like, sorry, man, you have to be Superman again.
Yeah, you're going 100%.
Because Dwayne Johnson's asking for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But other thing we got Tuesday coming up.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday, early fan screening.
On a Tuesday.
Listen, I don't know where your excitement level's at. You know where mine's at.
I know. I'm not as high as you.
Which is fine. Like, I don't, and and I've been telling people, and they're like,
your excitement is getting me excited. Is that okay to say?
But when I tell other people,
they're
like,
why?
Like, you don't know Elvis? No, I don't know Elvis. I wasn't alive for his music. Yeah. I didn't go to his concerts. I don't have his albums.
But
for whatever, like I love
just looking
just
good.
Like I like Bohemian Raps. Like, I just love like the shows, the crowd. Like I love a big performance.
Yeah,
just like I loved In the Heights and West Side. Like I like big. I like musicals.
Absolutely.
This is not a musical, but I love big performances. And I'm not a fan of plays. Like I'm not a not a theater fan.
But on screen,
I'm like, this movie's
on screen musical
big
numbers
and grand and exciting.
Yeah,
and Tom Hanks and Austin Butler. Like, it's just like going to be this huge production.
Right.
And that's why I'm excited. No, I'm not the biggest Elvis fan in the world. I like a lot of his music. I've been listening to a lot of his music.
I should probably
So
do
when
that.
I do hear it on screen, I'm falling apart. Like, it is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
But that's why. It's not because I'm a huge Elvis fan.
I just
think we're going to get there. We're seeing this in XD, and it's going to be a big, grandioso performance style. And that's why I'm excited.
I mean, I don't disagree that. I think it's going to be a really good movie because all of the ingredients are there.
Yeah.
Right? All the ingredients are there to make this amazing movie.
Also, didn't know Austin Butler was a Disney Channel star. I guess he's been in like every single. He was in like Hannah Montana.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
All these. I'm like, oh,
popping in and out of all these.
Yeah, I was like,
shows.
I didn't really know where he came from.
I didn't know either. I had no idea.
So,
but I'm
like, let's do it
again. I'm all for it. The movie does look great,
and it might not be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. I think at the very least it's gonna be good. I don't think
if anything, you're gonna be sitting there like,
yeah, like at worst case, are you gonna be because like you said, there's gonna be moments where we're just gonna have some good music on screen, right?
Yeah, and I'm 240.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be some moments I'm like, oh, come on, all right, like
maybe a lot of talking.
Yeah, let's like, all right,
but maybe not. Elvis had a long career. Well, not super long, but I mean, like a lot happened in his career.
Yeah, and again, we're going by the trailers. We're going to childhood.
Yeah, from the
so
beginning.
It's not Elvis's mute. Like this is Elvis's life.
So maybe it's bam, 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 all the way through because they have a lot to cover.
Yeah,
he was an actor at one point.
Yeah, he did a ton of movies.
We need to get his life from A to Z.
Yeah, that's why I'm
220.
so excited. This girl I work with, I was like, are you gonna watch Elvis? She's like, yeah, I love Blue Hawaii, which I mentioned earlier. I was like, how do you know that? You're 22 years old. It's like, I used to watch Blue Hawaii all the time. I was like, that is awesome. Like, I'm so glad you said that. Because, like, that's the movie I watched so much with my mom. And Viva Las Vegas, of course. But, like, Blue Hawaii was the one. I'm like, I just thought it was so cool. Like,
that's so funny.
I was like, you know that. That's
like,
so
hey,
cool. Like, let's go watch Elvis. Because depending on how it turns out, might be a 2-timer for me. I know it definitely won't for you just because it's so long.
It's so long, yeah.
But if it's something I'm like
doing that
like the whole time,
then you'll go. Good.
So we'll see.
Good. Well, we're gonna find out. Got that early showing.
We got an early showing, which is not busy. Nobody's sitting in front, to the side, or behind us.
Perfect.
Which is great.
We will we'll obviously do a quick out of theater then for that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Just so we can get it because before that, we actually have another movie we're gonna watch.
Next week.
Before I don't know when you're gonna get to it, but I'm gonna try to take the boys sometime during the weekend to Lightyear, and I'm hoping to do some kind of another maybe Sunday show for it to do a quick review on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you get to it that
maybe
weekend,
get the boys up here.
Yeah,
see what we got.
If you see it that weekend, I'll have to do it that weekend, like because we can't both. We have to see it.
Well,
like, that's what we're doing.
Well, I would plan to watch it as soon as you can.
Yeah.
As soon as you can. And
so
I'll try to get
Sunday.
the boys. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll try to get the boys there on a Saturday, too. It's still like Father's Day is sort of like a toss-up for everything going on right now. So I don't know what's going to happen. But
again, holidays are always busy for any movie theater.
Yeah.
So that's always tough. I'm always feel weird when I go to like a kid movie alone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn it.
I know.
When I went to, what did I go? Oh, Sonic. And there's kids everywhere, and I'm just one adult man with my candy here.
Well, we could talk about it off.
I don't like this.
We'll talk about it off camera, but I don't know what your schedule is like. But the problem is obviously me getting to the theater late with 2 kids.
Yeah.
Right. So we could probably have a conversation about what can get worked out and see if we can all go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we got Lightyear next weekend. I'd like to do a little something for that. Just a quick one for that one.
Are you going to get to Dominion, do you think?
No, I am not. I don't like – I mean, I appreciate the Jurassic World movies.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that there are dinosaurs on screen. I mean, I think that's super, super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing nothing good about this new movie at all. And so other than the spectacle.
Yeah.
But it's just hard. It's like these movies are always hard for me because I'm always like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't buy that. And I get it. There's dinosaurs on screen. Don't come at me. I understand what's happening.
Yeah, but again, Godzilla versus Kong, like just know that like that's what you're going for, big monsters.
Right.
And people getting squished.
And
like that's why you're going.
So. People get eaten, people get stomped on.
100%.
But other than that,
we'll see and we'll get it done. I'm excited for Lightyear. Again,
Me too.
I don't know why, but again, I'm bonkers excited for Elvis. Yeah. And then we'll get into Thor and all that other stuff after.
Next time,
so
because that'll have to be
Yeah.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, but
we got a whole other week to get through.
That's what's on the horizon.
I got more Obi-Wan to watch.
Yeah.
More Miss Marvel to watch. More The Boys to watch. Got Lightyear. We got Elvis. We got a couple weeks of entertainment,
which is
in
great.
Our hand,
I mean, that's why we do what we do.
Exactly. And so we'll just we'll let you know what we think. All right, sir. I'm all
like,
good.
comment, subscribe. We're getting some comments and some stuff now.
I love it.
But let's do that on YouTube. How about that?
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Everybody go to YouTube. That's
doing good on the socials. So let's get on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
watching. Later.
Adios.